Good evening. Police have shot and killed a dog after it attacked its owner, a neighbour and one of the officers called out to deal with the animal. Armed police were called to Hamilton last night following reports of a large dog attacking people.
Its owner was rushed to the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital in Glasgow to be treated for serious injuries. Police were at the scene for much of the day, including a specialist forensics team. Well, our reporter Brandon Cook joins us now. And Brandon, clearly a very distressing incident for locals.
Yeah, Kellyanne, there was still a heavy police presence here until about half an hour ago when officers took away the cordon which stretched right along this row of houses. We've been speaking to locals right throughout the course of the day, both on and off camera, and what we've got is a real sense of shock at the events which unfolded here yesterday evening. And still, 24 hours on, the man suspected to be the owner of the dog is still in hospital and he has serious injuries. Shortly before 5:30 last night, and this man is seen frantically limping into a local shop. He'd just been attacked by a large bulldog. The frightening ordeal started on a street around 150 yards away. He was left with minor injuries and sent to hospital. The dog then mauled another man here on Tinto Views shortly after. The victim is believed to be the owner. Tonight he's fighting for his life in hospital. The out-of-control dog then turned on police and was shot dead by armed officers.
About 10 to 5, there was a lot of commotion outside, a lot of shouting, dog hysterical. I went to my window and I could see two men fighting over the dog. One was being bitten by the dog, that wasn't the owner. And they managed to separate, but the dog then latched onto his owner and just wouldn't let go after that. And eventually I phoned the police. Other people probably phoned the police as well. And when they arrived, they tried to approach it. They cleared the area, tried to approach it, they weren't having it. They tried to tase it, that didn't work. And eventually the armed police had to be called and they put it down, 4 shots.
Police have called it a distressing incident. Nearby neighbours say the commotion was frightening.
Just to police in the neighbour's garden, running up and down shields, and then the armed response showed up. It's horrible. Again, you just never know what's potentially going to happen.
Forensic teams continued investigations well into this afternoon, but there's no wider threat to the public. The dog's body was taken for specialist veterinary assessments. Police say it wasn't possible to establish its specific breed. Residents are split on whether it was an XL bully.
Hopefully it's not something that we have to deal with in the future. I think on that note we do need to look at the legislation around ownership and breeds, particularly in relation to dangerous dogs. And it's obviously not been confirmed as an XL bully breed, but I think we do need to look at the type of dogs that are capable of causing this damage and the ownership and breeding of dogs like that.
The Scottish Government announced last week it was working towards restrictions on XL bullies, replicating measures introduced in England at the end of last year. There's no date yet for when the measures will come into force.
Scotland's already got dog control notices in place with their local authority, so that is not in place in England and Wales, so there are powers within local authority. If you have a dog locally or you're worried about a dog's behaviour, you can report it to the local authority and they have the powers to muzzle it or put it on a lead.
The circumstances of last night's incident will be referred to the Police Investigations and Review Commissioner, a violent attack which traumatised everyone involved. Brandon Cook, STV News, Hamilton.